Young Morning Show, and I appreciate you listening to my show every Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. How would you like for your voice to be heard on WOLB 1010 a.m.? Call Kia at 410-907-0328. The cost is very reasonable, and it will give you an opportunity to have your very own show. Give Kia a call at 410-907-0328. Welcome to the family.
It's our last errand today, Jimmy. Just need to pick up some light bulbs.
Whoa, there's so many. Did Grandma tell you which ones to buy?
No, but check out the label on this package. It'll help us find the right bulbs.
Does it really matter?
Well, sure. The new light bulbs use a lot less energy, so we save money on our electric bill by using an energy-saving incandescent, CFL, or LED.
How about this bulb?
Let's see. We need to replace the 60-watt bulbs in our bedside lamps. That one is 800 lumens, so it should do the trick.
I've never heard of lumens.
Lumens tell us how bright the light is. The more lumens, the brighter the bulb.
You know, Grandpa, you're a pretty bright guy.
Yeah, you're pretty smart yourself, Jimmy.
Lumens, the new way to shop for light. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. That's EnergySavers.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Energy.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ-FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe.
I'm gonna get there, yes, somehow. Push my way through the crowd. I'm gonna grab you by the hand to a place we will stand. Stand proud, no fear, yes, clear. I believe in you. I believe in me. Oh yeah, I believe that we can make this dream a reality. Yeah, yeah. Now's the time to be. Now's the time for miracles. Oh, it's in my heart so deep. 'Cause I believe.
Yes, I believe in you, you believe in me, and I believe that we can make our dreams a reality. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People here on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. God bless each and every one of you on this beautiful, beautiful day. It's still a little mild, but it's going to get super hot, and y'all be careful out there. And if you see someone standing too long in the same place, especially our seniors, our elders, ask them if they're okay. You got to do it. You got to do it. And if they're all right, they'll look at you and say yes. But most of all, they'll say thank you. And that's who we should be, and that's what should be going on. Again, you're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People, and well, everybody's still getting in the room here, all of my great co-anchors. So while we're doing that, let's everybody who's not driving a car, or you're in a stationary position, with your cell phones or wherever you are, we would like for you to touch your radios, and we're going to touch and agree here this morning as we're going to bless God. Oh God, our Father, Lord, we thank you for another day, for another week, oh God, to try to get it right, oh Lord, to try to just love one another and think through our processes and think through our issues and try to reach solutions, oh God. We can do nothing without you, oh God. Sometimes the miracle don't come that we want in the magic, oh God, but you give us your peace, and that is a peace that passes all understanding. And we do realize that without peace we can do no thing, oh God. So we thank you for the peace that you give. Oh God, we're asking you right now, Lord, to touch touch our city, touch our elected officials, oh God, even them that need to be kicked out of office, oh God. Help us to send them on their way, oh God, and hopefully as sooner than they would like to go. But we're asking you, oh God, to do a cleanse, to do a purge, oh God, that we might know these people, those who work against us and who are not in your will, that we might be one who love you and love each other as we have been told by Jesus the Christ, whom we believe, that you can love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, and body and soul, but you got to love your neighbor as yourselves, oh God. Help us to remember that more, Lord. Touch the sick in the hospitals, oh God. Touch those that are bedridden or can't come out of their houses, oh God, that are ill, oh God. Touch our seniors, oh God. Keep them safe, oh God. Keep their minds alert. Bless their bodies. Bless their families, oh God. Bless the love, oh God. Let there be more love in our city, oh God. Bless our children, oh God, who are going about in the camps and whatever they're doing, oh God. Keep them safe, oh God. And for all of those who have fallen victims to gunfire, oh God. There are 186 people who have died already this year in our city, oh God. Touch their families, oh God. Help us, oh God, to understand that this is not the way to love. This is not the way to be. Oh God, help us to become one in you and one in each other. We ask these blessings in thy Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen and amen. God bless you. Please welcome my co-host, Mr. Leo Burrows Jr. How are you today, Leo?
I am wonderful today, and I want to say good morning to everybody and remind you to praise the Lord and pass the ammunition for justice, decency, and fair play.
That's what we're fitting to do up in here. Please also welcome my other anchor and another brilliant man, Mr. James C. Moran. How are you today, Jimmy?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Baltimore.
Y'all pray for Jimmy. We prayed for him last week, and he was going to go through something with his fingers. Afraid he might lose a little something, but he come back in here yesterday and showed me he still got his thumb. So prayer works, and them great doctors do too. So we're thankful to God and blessing him for all the blessings that he bestows on all of the people. Please also say hello to Mr. Richard Terry. How are you today, Richard?
Well, I'm fine, but I have a question to start off with today. And my question is this. Are we approaching a point in the city where, to quote a line from Goodfellas, when we leave the house, do we have to look over both shoulders just to make sure we're safe?
Ooh, I know what you're talking about, and we're going to get to that. And that's a great posit that you just made. But I would also like to thank a young man and welcome a gentleman who hasn't been with us for a while. He's just been going through a little something with his car. But I called him this morning and told him we miss his voice. Please welcome Marvin Doc Cheatham. How are you today, Doc?
Well, I'm hot and sweaty. I've had my 2-hour walk this morning to take care of all my work before 12 o'clock, so I'm honored that y'all would miss this old brother.
Well, we not only miss you,
we missed that old
but I'm going to do like my mama say, I came looking for you this morning. Okay? Find out how you're doing. Many of you know that Doc Cheatham has a park that he's taken responsibility for, that he mows. He sits on his lawnmower, and cuts that park and maintains that park and sustains that park and keeps it in a place where the people can use it. So he's not just a bunch of talk. Y'all know Doc Cheatham has been a part of the NAACP for years, and he's been an activist in this city. And I just want to say to you this morning how much we appreciate you and how much we love you, Doc, for all that you do. And I'm blessing that car. Maybe it's time for it to go on, but God's going to give you something. He's going to give you some mighty wheels that's going to take you where you need to go when you need to go.
It'll be better.
Yes. We're claiming that for you. Well, it's an interesting week that we're going to, and oh, Lord, how can I forget? God bless me. Every week he says, bless me to meet this person a couple of years ago. I used to hear him on the radio talking, and I always thought he was a white boy, okay, because, he got that great diction and a clean diction. His name was Rodriguez. I said, well, maybe he's Hispanic, but he sounded like a white boy to me. And finally, when I met him, I went, you black? And he's Puerto Rican, of course. Please welcome Mr. Jason Rodriguez.
Mixed child, yes.
He's a mixed child. Okay. but he is a brilliant young man, and it's just, I tell you what, he is truly a Renaissance person. There is nothing that he can't do in the way of electronics and in the way of media. So, Jason, welcome. We're so happy that you're here with us, and it worked out for him. I lost him as really right by my side 24/7, but now he helped him to get up in the Radio 1 family, and he is doing great things here. So we are so excited for you, and the city is blessed, and we are blessed because you're there, Jason. Yeah, I'm heaping the praise today. Yeah. You know what? Because I just don't believe we love each other enough. Yes, I believe we don't tell each other enough that we love each other. And when we don't tell each other, how will you know?
Not until the funeral.
Not till the funeral. Right. That's when you get it. Exactly. All arguments in at the funeral. And some folks, here in Baltimore, they get into it at the funeral.
Yes,
so
do.
we got to fight for love.
Church. Well, family, if you go online, you'll see that I'm blushing right now. So.
Yeah, he's blushing right now. Also, we're
cut that out.
Facebook. We're streaming Facebook Live.
Yes, so we're now streaming live. You can hear us on WLB.com as well as on TuneIn Radio. And you can also see us live in studio on Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. You'll get to see the crew in all of their glory, and you'll get to see Patrick Henderson this morning in all of his glory.
Oh, man, we're all in the glory of the Lord. I tell you what, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he has anointed us to preach the gospel. And we ain't no preachers, we ain't no church, I ain't got no platform, I ain't got no pulpit, but the ministry to our people is in our hearts. Everyone here is not only an activist and an advocate, but every one of us love God in our own way. I didn't say we was all Christians. I didn't say that, because Christians got a bad name right now. In case y'all not paying no attention, just think about these evangelicals and all the stuff they're supporting Trump in, and you can't imagine how these people can say they love God and are locking.
They don't count in God's eyes.
Well, anybody who locks children in cages, I say you're absolutely right. And then adds on to it that they separate those children from their parents. Who could tolerate and such a thing? If it was happening to you. Well, there's so many things going on, and today we want to start out with the voting machines. As many of you know, I got one more thing to tell y'all. So I called the Parks and Recreations office this morning. I didn't intend to. There was a number that had changed from what I'd been calling before, trying to reach the head of the Park and Recreations, Mr. Carter. And this lady answered the phone, and I said, yes, I would like to speak to Mr. Carter. She says, I think you got the wrong number, Patrick. I said, how do you know my name? She said, Mr. Henderson, we listen to you all every Monday.
Wow.
That's all right.
Every Monday we listen to you. So all the people that are there in the 311, God bless you all for all the work that you all do. And thank you for listening in, because not only is that an accolade for us, but it just lets people know that if the city is listening, they need to be listening. Okay? Because we're not coming up in here with no bull dookie. Okay, we coming up here with pure facts. And for those that disagree with us, we welcome the disagreement, and we welcome you to call in and let us know what you're doing, because we can't teach you anything. All we hope to do is to make you think and reconsider maybe your positions. So we're rolling right along. We wanted to talk about the voting machines for our elections. As many of you know, I have been talking about it. We have been talking about this for over the past year, since Trump was elected. And Senators Van Hollen and Cardin. Cardin is not a senator, is he? He's
Senator Ben Cardin.
Right. Yeah, they're both senators. And Amy Klobuchar have introduced a bill. I'm sorry I didn't write it down. It's I think it's 282, where they would like for there to be transparency to any foreign country that has anything to do with our voting machines. And we've had some problems here in the city for over the years, going back to the Ricky Specter days, where over in that area, they changed the voting sites and didn't tell the people that the voting sites have been changed. We've had many problems with our voting machines, but they've introduced a bill that would require that any foreign entity had not only be exposed, but be denied the right to have anything to do with our voting machines. I spoke with Mr. Van Hollen's office this morning, and the lady there, who was very nice and very helpful in explaining to me that, as I said to her, we want paper ballots. That's the only way we can secure our systems. If we are assured about who we vote for is documented and we can see it with our eyes, simply because we don't trust the system. Now, the governor seems to be dragging his feet on this, and I can't understand why he would be dragging his feet on such a volatile, important issue to the sovereignty and to the integrity of our voting system. If it once that's gone, then we are a third world country. And I believe, gentlemen, your opinions on this, Leo, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that we, as do you and others, cannot trust the computerized approach, which doesn't really provide us documentation, as you've said before. We've got people who know other people. It's almost as if it's a syndicate operating where they are controlling the ballot box, as it were, counting the votes, and we can't document and assess how they go about counting it, and if, in fact, they are counting all of the votes. And so everyone, I've always said that there should be, when you vote, we have the technology to give you a printout, a receipt and printout in one document that confirms that you have in fact have voted in this particular election at this particular point in time. We've got to do that because we cannot trust a system I call it the Donald Trump administration, but this has been a problem that predates Donald Trump.
That's right.
It's been around for a long time. Yes, and as we in the cyber industry, if we continue to do what we're doing, we're going to be in serious trouble in terms of assessing the truth, what is fact, what is fiction, with regard to voting. So absolutely. I say that needs to become a campaign issue.
I totally
needs
agree.
To be a campaign issue.
James?
Yeah, I have several views. Number one, we are in an era of voter suppression.
Yes.
So anything that relates to contracting the vote, suppressing the vote, seems to be the modus operandi for this particular administration. What we know is that approximately 39 states have been invaded in some way
by
their computer systems.
By the Russians.
By the Russians. So they are threatening a number of systems, and we don't necessarily know how. What I believe is that there has to be some kind of mechanism so that, like Leo says, if I vote, I can prove I voted, and the state knows that I voted.
And who I voted for.
And who I voted for, as opposed to some of the voting machines which seem to have, you put your candidate in, and then somehow that voting machine switched it to something else. So there are lots of things that are going on right now that we need to keep constant vigilance on. And I'm for any legislation that expands the vote as opposed to contracts it.
Absolutely. Richard, what are your thoughts here?
Okay, two things, and James hit partially what I was thinking. One, when you start talking in identifying who owns the companies, they play shell games. There's this company who is a wholly owned subsidiary of this company. It was part of this holding company. So sometimes it's kind of impossible to peel back the layers of the onion to determine who really owns the companies that manufacture the voting machines. Now, there was a movie, I love watching movies. There was a movie years ago starring Robin Williams where a computer company created a program for the election machines, and the voting machines did just what James suggested. You placed your vote, but the program that they created switched it. And somehow or other it wound up making Robin Williams, who was a stand-up television comedian, president. So whoever creates these things and whoever programs these machines, you got to be very, very careful who they are, and they have to be totally vetted, or else you will have a nightmare. Now, if we go to a paper, will we go back to the problems we had with the state of Florida and the hanging Chad?
They shouldn't use chads. They should use actually a marking system, an X in that box on the hanging chad bullcrap.
Right. But I'm just saying we've had problems
with paper,
even with paper ballots over the years. So we have to come up with a foolproof method. And then two, when we look at voting by paper in past elections, remember in Chicago the old mantra was vote early and vote often.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Well, they got a problem with voting often. You can't vote but one time.
Well, how many dead people voted in Chicago elections?
Well, not only that, but Chicago. That all you can do is say the word Chicago or name it, and it's just corruption, almost as synonymous or as synonymous as Baltimore is with corruption. Yeah, y'all, we need prayer up in here. But this kind of only comes out by the laying on of hands. The Bible says, talks about fasting, but this kind of time, laying on of hands is going to be the voting machines that we're going to do in the next election.
That an election within the last 4 years. Remember the election of Annapolis? The rules and regulation as to call into question the veracity of what we were being told as who the winners were and who in fact voted.
Are those same people still the head of the mayor?
Yes, they are.
Yes, Linda Lamone is.
Linda Lamone's been there forever.
Well, there's also another issue that all of us in this room and everybody that's listening needs to be aware of. You need to make sure you're still on the rolls.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because there has already been purging of the voter rolls.
If you haven't voted so many times in so many years.
That's correct. And even if you have voted, there have been purges of the rolls. So it isn't limited to Maryland, but I'm in Maryland now, and I'm talking to voters in Maryland. So you need to make sure you have an obligation to make sure that you're on the rolls.
I got to tell you, though, you're not just talking to Marylanders. There are people from all across the United States who are listening to us.
All of you, all across the United States that are listening, make sure that your name is somewhere on somebody's roll.
Yes, sir.
And not in some garage someplace.
Exactly.
Purged.
Yes. Very good.
Especially
very
if your name is Hernandez. They were taking names of Hispanic names, actually, and purging them. Yes.
Wow. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. We've got 10 more minutes here. We're going to talk about this. So we're going to go to the phones, 410-481-1010. In the process of your commentary, would you please let us know if you plan on voting? It is so important that we vote this election coming up. The presidency is the biggest one, because if this guy gets back into office, we're headed back to the cotton fields. Carlos, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and I agree with everything that you've said about the voting being vital, and I do intend to vote it since I can this legislation through Holland and Klobuchar dead issue. This question, I want to know, is that the Hispanic in the amount of 27 to 30% voted for Trump the last time around. I just want to know. I have not heard an answer from anybody. And
the empathy. Most South Americans that have been have gone through the immigration process here in the United States don't empathize with current immigration policy.
Why?
In a lot of cases, they feel that they had to go through the process.
Yes.
They had to go through this long, vigorous challenges to become a citizen. And in many cases, they feel that those that are coming into the country are going to take and remove the opportunities that they've put in place. You see this in Texas.
Yes, very much.
That unfortunately the Hispanic community doesn't want a lot of these South Americans and Central American folks in their area. And so I think they empathize more with toughening of immigration laws and making it putting those barriers in place to prevent those opportunities from being taken.
Check this out, though. The one thing y'all need to know about is the South Americans don't like the Mexicans.
Yeah.
They call them the N word of the Hispanics. So the Mexicans got a lot of power here, especially in Texas. So they don't like them because they don't like each other. So you got an inner thing happening between them. Just
that's
like
self-hatred.
That's self-hatred. Not only that, but jealousy. And they call the Mexicans ignorant and call them the ends of the Hispanic world. The N word.
But what happens is once their children become more Americanized, they become generational Americans. They tend to not empathize with the struggles and the battles that their previous relatives have gone through as far as immigration is concerned.
Why that sound familiar? Leo, I'm gonna keep moving here. I didn't want to get off on that, but you got it. But let's go. Janet, you have a question or comment? I'm coming to you, Leo.
Good morning. You guys were talking about the types of voting, and a while back I saw this TV informational thing about, I believe it was Colorado. And what they do is every state does a mail-in ballot, whereas the state sends you the ballot, and then you have the responsibility to fill it out, sign it, and return it to them. And they get more people participating that way than any other state. And I think that's a great idea, because if the state is mailing it out, then they're gonna mail it out at a certain time. If you don't get one, then you have plenty of time to go down there and find out why you didn't get one. And then you have the responsibility of filling out and sending it back. And they have these boxes all over the state where you put them in. You don't send them through U.S. mail. You just drop them in their box. And they believe they have a bigger percentage of people participating that way. And I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it
is. You ain't got to deal with no Russians. You ain't got to deal with no machines. The little old ladies who work election day, they can still work helping to open envelopes or whatever else they need to do. And you got a record.
Tell me this, is that the same as doing an absentee ballot? Are there similarities?
I guess it would be the same, except for you don't have to request it. It's sent to you automatically if you're on the roll.
I like that. See, we talk about solutions up in here. That's a brilliant idea, James.
Yeah, there was Governor Hickenlooper, or he's running for president actually, was on TV the other day, and he was talking about that particular process and saying how
Colorado.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I do too.
I thought
Thank
it had promise as well.
Yes.
But there's one other thing we need to talk about. Mention 4% less black folk voted in the last election.
Yeah, I do. What did you say again, James?
4% less black folks voted in the last presidential election.
That was because Hillary had said some disparaging things about us, and the Russians just drove it home.
Right. Notwithstanding any of that, we got to get those 4% back.
Yes,
plus
we do.
More.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. We're going to keep moving. Charles, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. I hope. How are you today, sir?
Yes, I'm doing fine, and I have a question for you. 95% of the people voted for Kamala Harris.
Where? In San Francisco? In California?
Well, I'm saying the candidate.
Shit, what are you talking about? They voted for her. Shit, there hasn't been an election yet. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying if 95% of the people voted for any candidate, any one candidate, versus 100% of the Electoral College votes for the opposite candidate, which candidate would actually be elected?
Well, they have a thing now.
Electoral College in the presidency. It's the Electoral College that controls.
That 36 states have decided that they're eliminating the Electoral College.
But but unfortunately, the states are trying to eliminate it. But unfortunately, it fits within the Constitution, and until you change the Constitution,
correct. And I don't believe in the elimination of its process. I just believe that we have to get over this hurdle of the evangelical Christians controlling a lot of those votes, and they're dying out. They are a dying breed.
Yes, they are.
No. We are talking about the Electoral College They're the one that controls the election. They elect the president.
Correct, but the Electoral College is being decided by a minority few that unfortunately have a bigoted and biased view of this country.
Thank you, Tom.
And still, believe in a lot of the old racist ways of this country.
Absolutely. Dwight, hold on. I'm going to come back to you at the top of the hour. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. The call-in number is 410-481-1010. Please call in. We want to talk about this about 10 more minutes, and we got to get on with the show. But God bless each and every one of you. We're hoping that you stick around, and we'll put your thoughts in. That was a great idea. This is how we make solutions. They're mailing out those ballots to everybody, and you sending it in, dropping off in a specific box. I like that. We'll be right back. Don't you touch that dial. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010.
I like Australia where everybody is forced.
This is not the time to lose your focus. Got a work to do for the Lord, and you cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. Unto you as you believe.
I'm gonna get there, yes, somehow. Push my way through the crowd. I'm gonna grab you by the hand to a place we will stand. Stand proud, no fear. It's clear, I believe in you.
Welcome back, family. You're now listening to the Patrick Henderson's Meet the People radio program. Just want to remind everyone we are now streaming live on Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook. And if you'd like to join the conversation, please give us a call at 410-481-1010. Again, the number is 410-481-1010. Give us a call and join the conversation. Patrick?
Yes. Leo, you had a comment.
Well, there are a couple of things, and I'll run quickly
yes,
through.
sir.
The Hispanics, we talk about Hispanics. There are people among the Hispanic group, whether they're Americans, who identify with European culture and identify with Donald Trump and are seeking social acceptance. And in that context, they don't want to change the status quo. I'm looking at when we talked about voter reform or reforming the voter process, incumbents generally, many of them, elected officials who've been in office 20 and 25 years, they're not interested in changing the process to make it more fair because they get reelected every year and they are entrenched. So I just want to point that out, that we've got to demand that people who hold office, who are running for reelection, because they don't want to come in as long as they are there, and it's a revolving door for many of these people. Racism is alive and well.
It is, but it's not only black people who are discriminated against by white people. There are Hispanics that do it. This is discriminated against us. So we'll 481-1010. We're getting some great solutions, and that's William. Welcome. You have a question or comment, sir?
Yes. I'm just calling. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
I've been voting Democrat all my life, and just in the last few years, I've seen the Democratic Party goes to the extreme. Speaking of those 4 young ladies that we're talking about, these are extremists, and those extremist party.
Good.
That's one reason why I started changing my voting habits. Because this country does have borders, and like Jason was saying, you got a lot of people out here. They're not going to tell you Donald Trump because if they say talk about it, they're going to be attacked. You know, it's just like I used to enjoy listening to your show, Patrick. But it seems like everybody that calls this show agrees, man. You know, when you don't have everybody that agree with everybody, then you don't have a show. You know, I plan on voting for Donald Trump. And I think that Donald Trump is going to win because of the extremist views of the Democratic Party.
What is more extreme, sir? Thank you. This is a two-way conversation. But do you realize by voting for this man that he's going to be able to appoint people to the Supreme Court who will have the power?
Have a chance to appoint,
sir, we're not talking about the past. We're talking about the power of now. And as far as people calling in, I consider those people to be thinking properly about the reality of being black in this country. Now, I agree with you. Let me finish. I'm gonna come back to you. We must realize that there is no farther extreme than the alt-right, who is now in play in the White House. These are Nazis. These are anti-American. These are people who are white nationalists who just assume throw you in a tar pit with all of your children because of the color of your skin. Now, you can't deny that because look at the legislation that's happening now. They're trying to change Medicare, $800,000. They're going to cut that. Now, who gets Medicare? Old people. So don't you have any compassion for what might happen to those who are less fortunate than you or older than you? That doesn't come into your bailiwick, sir?
Well, I'm 60 years old myself, and I'm on that field that the for my opinion.
Yeah, sir. You're entitled to Medicare. Do you feel that you will be affected by that?
I don't know if I am or not.
You will. Thank you. You will be affected.
I'm wondering if the caller and those being racist.
Yeah,
so
it's documented now. But wait, before you say that, James, I just want to say something to the seniors who for some reason feel as though you won't be affected by these policies that these far righties are putting before you. They don't like you.
We're in trouble.
They've never liked you. And they are doing everything possible to destroy our people.
Yeah.
Now, you say the Democrats have a problem in their money. So those of you who are thinking about voting for Trump, realize what you're going to be in for. If you're getting Meals on Wheels, that's going to be cut. Those of you who live in housing projects or subsidized housing, all of that's going to change. So then you will be reliant on relative good idea. I ask you to reconsider. And the gentleman calls this some sort of group thing. No, sir, this is sanity think. We know what this man is. He's shown you who he is and what he believes and what he's going to do. So I'm not angry with you, and maybe some mental health issues there. So because I can't figure out how a sane person would vote against their best interest.
I don't know, Patrick. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know why you debate the issue. Mm-hmm. The issue for any voter should be what's in my self-interest. Mm-hmm. If the gentleman who called in decides that he doesn't need Medicare, and if he's decided that he doesn't need streets that won't damage his car, and if he decides that he doesn't need health care
or the right to vote,
if he decides, all of those things are decisions that you make individually. Mm-hmm. If you've decided that your self-interest is enhanced by voting for this guy who is telling you that he doesn't like you and he's not going to make policies.
And his life has proved that he doesn't like you.
And he's going to make policies that are against your progress, your future progress,
and your sustenance to the life,
then vote for him.
Yes.
Race pride is important to me. And when I say that, I'm saying it in the context of those who I hear espousing support for Donald Trump because economically they feel like they're doing great. I'm doing so wonderfully. I have 2 jobs now today, and I'm just loving this the environment that this Donald the actor Trump has created. Well, you better wake up and understand it's not just about you as an individual.
Right.
It's about us as a collective.
Yes, sir.
And we cannot approach unity or any semblance of unity as long as it's only about me, the individual.
But Leo, you're spending a lot of time trying to convince someone who doesn't believe it's in their self-interest.
That's the problem, and then you have to wonder why.
I'm not
and
trying
he said
to
he's 60 years old, so that means he's already at 60. Who gets on Medicare at 60 years old?
When I heard him say 60 on Medicare, I was like, well, I didn't get on it until I was 65.
Exactly. So that means that he's already ill. He's not a well person.
Correct.
Well,
so
he might be 65. Didn't say exactly his age.
Well, we're only gonna go by what he said, my friend.
Patrick, I mean, so I have to agree a little bit with William, though. I have an issue with some of these so-called progressives, and I'm really watching the Democratic ticket very closely because, again, a lot of the ideas that are coming about from Bernie Sanders, from Kamala, from a lot of these so-called progressives, it's policy that unfortunately can't be paid for in a lot of cases.
Oh, Jason,
we have
Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you work for me, my friend. And I love you very much, and you know I love you very much. But all we got to do is cut the military budget.
Right.
There's all the money we need. Why do we never talk about that? We keep going to wars and wars. We spent over $13 trillion in the last 10 years for wars that are nothing. So why
Patrick,
don't you?
I'll give you an example, like this repaying college debt.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds absurd to me.
Why?
Because of the simple fact that most of these folks that took college, I'm not going to take out a college debt because I know I can't afford to pay it. I'm not going to go ahead and put myself in debt.
You're not going to invest in your future, Jay?
But now all these people that have did the right thing, that have paid back their debt, and in some cases are still paying back their debt, like my mother, for instance,
can't live because they're paying the debt.
That's not necessarily true because my mother bought a house.
Your mother is
also
how old?
in college. My mother's on 70
resources that she do.
She's in debt. She's been
at 70 years old. She's still paying college debt. Don't you think that's absurd?
Well, because my mother continues to keep going to
bless
school
her heart,
and getting
she's
additional
smart.
degrees.
Yeah, but we got to be realistic here.
Right.
We've stopped all these doggone wars and start taking care of the people. Look at what China is doing. They are just moving. They haven't been in a war in decades. All they're doing everything possible in their transportation and their infrastructure. They're doing those things to make.
But they're also building up their military machinery.
Yeah,
as
but
well,
they ain't using it.
Well, wait a minute. Rand Paul said, "We are not going to give money to the 9/11 responders because we can't afford it."
Yes.
But we can't afford military spending. We can't afford anything that the Republicans want to do.
Exactly. Tax
in
cuts
terms
for
of
the
tax
rich.
breaks for the rich.
I do agree as far as the military spending is concerned, but I think that we have an issue with the Democratic Party when we make all these promises. That's how they have a tendency to lure in Americans, giving them over promises, and then at the end of the day, when it comes down to legislation and trying to get it passed through both houses, they could never get it passed anyway.
I tell you what, all we can do, we can fix all of that. Obama had the opportunity to make both houses of Congress Democrats and elect progressive people, and we can get this country moving. But I cannot believe that anyone would think that people who are paying off college loans with interest rates that are so high, and the person who owns those loans is the head of the Department of Education, Betsy DeVos. It's corrupt beyond what we should ever think, and absolutely we should be like
Then
every other
that's a
free
whole
nation.
other legislation
that
needs to
is, but
be-
why is Norway
Right.
is free college? Why is Sweden Europeans? Why they have free colleges? Because they realize that an educated population blesses and helps the city. So all of this stuff about the Democrats are too progressive, and I love you, my brother.
Right.
And people gonna say, "Well, you going off on your boy?" Yeah, I'm going off, but I appreciate your
We go
your
at it all the
point.
time,
Yeah,
so
we do
y'all
it.
just
Ain't
don't-
I?
Well, I want to know
Just
what
don't
the
hear it.
Republicans are offering. I hear what the Democrats are offering, and I think each one of them are worthy of debate and discussion. All
But-
that I hear the Republicans saying is, if you elect me, I will hurt more people.
That's all
and I
they're
will do
saying.
that.
I'm not in love with the Republican Party.
Beyond what that particular talking point says.
Is welcome to Patrick Henderson meets the people. It's hot up in here. A question or concern.
Good morning, Patrick and panel.
Good morning. Afternoon.
I had a question, but I'm going to change the subject since you started talking about the cut. And it's something that's good.
Interest.
I want to vote for the person that's job and stuff have fought that.
How are you going to vote for something that's going to take bread, health care out of your mouth and from your life and your Social Security that you have to live on the rest of them? They're trying to privatize that. So that means we could get anybody in there to do anything they want. To keep cutting it back, it's suicidal.
The Donald Trump administration has no credibility at all.
410-481-1010. 410-481-1010. We want to hear what you got to say. Willie, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question?
Yes, good morning. I'm a Trump supporter.
Okay.
The reason why I called Patrick is because you said that people that don't agree with you are welcome to call.
Yes, sir.
So I expect to be treated with manners and respect
yes.
as I will treat you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Anyway, I'm a Trump supporter, and I think he's doing a wonderful job.
How so?
Why?
Because he's providing employment for not only black people, black women, Hispanics. And the thing is, you're wondering where we're going to get the money from to support Social Security and Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we cut back on bringing these illegal aliens over, which is costing us billions of dollars as we stand at this present time, billions of dollars, which you don't want to talk about.
Yes, I will talk about it. That is misinformation. Willie, that is misinformation. They're paying more taxes than even some of the Americans are. These people.
We're talking about the ones that's being housed at the border, the ones that all these people aren't working.
No, we're not talking about them.
People aren't working.
Yeah, but I guarantee you if they get in here, they're going to get a job because the Republicans are going to hire them. Why don't we arrest the Republicans that give them the jobs that are breaking the law, sir? Hold up, Willie, hold up now. I've listened to you. Now, the other thing, I'm going to let you finish your point, but the other thing I want you to realize is that the only thing that Trump has done to help the employment thing is to break down regulations. This is Obama's jobs, Obama's economy that this guy is harping on. The only thing he's done is drop down the regulations. No, but you got to finish now, and you don't have to cut me off. You may speak now, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Well, the thing is, you say it's Obama's economy, but Obama said that manufacturing jobs will never come back to America. And Trump brought back 5 million of manufacturing jobs.
No, he didn't. That's propaganda, sir. When did that happen? Give us a citation.
My point.
Yes, but you tell me how he did that and where he's done that. Every place
he done it. He done it from bringing back money that was offshore that the corporations and the billionaires were holding because of taxes. So when he cut the taxes down to 20-something% of corporate taxes, it allowed these people to reinvest their money in America.
No,
and that's
sir.
what created the jobs. Obama didn't do this.
Yes, he did.
Everybody's trying to say Obama did this.
Yes, he did.
The unemployment rate went from 10.2% down to 7-point-something%.
Under Obama.
What Obama did do, Pat, was say that reparations is off the table. Now the Democratic Party is using reparation as a turn to try to get black people to vote Republican.
Right, Willie. I agree with you. I can't stand Obama. I got more issues than that with him, that he was against reparations. But I don't want you to be misinformed. Those people
I'm not misinformed, Pat. Why do you think I'm misinformed?
I'm getting ready to tell you. I'm getting ready to tell you, Willie. You think that those people that got all that money that they brought back to America created jobs and stuff? They did not, sir. They bought back stock. They brought back the stocks in their company. They didn't give nobody no raise. They didn't do that.
Okay, but you're saying that Obama created all these jobs.
He did.
But they weren't there when Trump took office.
They were there. They were there.
Trump. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping that black men will realize that they've got the black women brainwashed. Black men in the listening audience, I wish you would listen and judge these people on what they try to do. The Democratic Party is trying to play a black community.
Now, they have told us they want to do. The evangelicals, all of the white people, all of the haters, all of the bigots have shown us who and what they are. And if we believe for 1 minute that they are interested in our best interest, then we are not only deceived, but we're
the Democratic Party has already showed us what their interest is.
Well, I tell you what, at least
they're more interested right now in getting the Hispanics over here so they can get the Hispanic vote.
Yeah, but well, how old are you? Do you mind me asking?
I'm 78 years old.
So you're on not welfare, but Medicare, all of these benefits
Hey,
that
Pat,
are.
you seeing me out at Sam's Club with the old Mercedes, right?
I'm sorry?
I have a business. I work.
Sir, but you still get Medicare.
I have a trash hauling business.
That's the one.
Do
you get
Medicare?
Oh, so you got your private. So you're fortunate.
Takes care of me.
So you're fortunate. So you're forgetting about those that are less fortunate, sir. You're talking about God.
Anything. I'm not forgetting about anything because I'm telling you the truth. The Democratic Party has played us. We never benefited from them. Look at this city and look at every city that the Democrats run.
Now I know
and
who you are.
Falling apart.
I know you are. You remind me of those people that are so many black people. I got mine. You get yours. Forget about you and yours.
Come on, man. Don't do that, Pat.
Well, but that's what it sounds like. Well,
Pat,
Richard,
Pat,
go ahead.
Richard,
let's listen to Richard.
Can I say one more thing?
Hold on, Richard, I'm gonna point you. Don't hang up, Willie. Richard, go ahead.
Okay. When you all finish the conversation,
can you speak up, Richard?
I said when you all finish this conversation, right now, the thing with the Democratic and Republican parties, they both are the same side. They're two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
Two, right now, I'm more worried about my health when I walk outside of my doors.
There you go, Richard.
What do you mean, your safety or your health?
Both.
Well,
both.
There's a difference.
My safety, my health will determine my safety. And my safety will determine my health.
Not necessarily. Your safety could be compromised by somebody walking up to you and shooting. Hold on, Willie.
Okay,
your health could be compromised because you are not a well man.
My health is I know I'm not a well man, but my safety is such that I could be injured even further walking outside of my door
by someone that perpetrates the act, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so
right now I'm more worried about what's happening within the confines of the city of Baltimore than what's happening in Washington. And because right now everybody's going into their own ideological fighting corners, and they're going to come out and we're all going to get destroyed in the process.
Amen, Richard.
Well,
amen.
You know what? I would almost agree with you, but we must realize that if the head ain't right, the body is not going to be right. And this is what we're talking about. It must start at the White House on the way down, all through the houses of Congress. Go ahead. I'm listening, Willie.
Okay. Now, when you saw me out at Sam's Club, I go out Sam's Club every Saturday or Sunday. Mm-hmm. And what I do, I pick up watermelons, about 8 bunches of bananas, 3 pies, and I take them out to the Genesis at Perrin Parkway, a nursing home, which I have adopted for the last 2 years. And I go out there regularly. I donate to these people because they don't have visits. Their family members forgot them.
Agree.
I donated to the what's his name? The Boy Scouts things, and he said I didn't. Me and my wife, we voted to Leo's thing, and he said we didn't vote donate to it, and because I don't have canceled checks, I can't prove it. But that just goes to show you that I'm more interested in other people than I am myself.
But Willie, listen to me.
To say that for someone to say that I'm being selfish, and because I don't vote for the Democratic Party because they're going to support Medicare is wrong.
Well,
because
Willie,
we need more than Medicare.
Yes, we do, sir. But the bottom line is that without it, our people will die, and that's the issue.
They're going to have Medicare, and that's not true. And the thing is, let me say one more thing, which people don't seem to realize. With these college-educated people that spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 to go to school, why is it that Castro can give free medical education all through Africa,
all through Scandinavia, all through Europe,
all through Africa for free?
Yes.
And why is it that John Hopkins you got to pay $100,000 a year to go to school.
I agree.
It doesn't make sense
but,
to me.
But that's what the Republicans want to do. That's not what the Democrats want to do. Bernie Sanders is saying free college for all. Thanks, Willie. Thank you,
that's
man.
That's a policy issue, and that's actually a damnation on John Hopkins and these institutions.
It absolutely is,
that fleece the American student.
410-481-1010 is
Patrick, just to answer Willie's question, by the way. So
one of his questions,
or to at least bring some facts to it. So there is a Forbes article that does talk about manufacturing jobs being brought back under the Trump administration more than previous administrations. But we know that there was a huge stock buyback, and in many cases, American workers have not received raises.
One dime.
Right, as a result of him allowing
so they're just
the
getting
tax
more
base to
free
be
labor that they can underpay and pay their stockholders.
And the unemployment rate rose to 10.2% under as Bush was leaving office, and it went down to about 7.2 by the time
and has been doing
Obama
it going down
left.
since. Leo?
Yeah, I just want us to reflect on history. Remember the documentary by Edward R. Murrow called Harvest of Shame. When we start looking back at the history of the so-called illegal aliens, this is something that was prized and supported by both political parties many years ago when you had the so-called wetbacks, the folks from Mexico and other South American countries coming into our country to work for nothing.
It was 1989 and Ronald Reagan.
Okay, work for nothing fundamentally, and as a consequence of working for nothing or being underpaid, this was the order of the day. Now, this is a continuously evolving situation, but the reality is that the lesser of two evils, I of course think, is the Democratic Party. However, all of the parties, all of the rich white establishment has supported wholeheartedly this matter of underpaying people who were not American, as well as the blacks who were poor, whether they were sharecroppers or whatever. When you start talking about historically, so we got to look at institutional racism and the fact that it is alive and well, and it's being sustained, and nothing has changed fundamentally.
When you're talking you have the biggest thing that you have in this debate is you have business driving a lot of this.
It does.
Because at
America.
first you had in California, you had the growers until Cesar Chavez formed the Migrant Farm Workers Union.
Right. Correct.
And then you now have two. You have the companies that are supporting it because they have the big agri-farms in the Southwest.
Right.
So they are the ones who are driving the whole issue in Congress by their money and their influence and their lobbying. That's where the problems begin.
Yes, sir. Doc Cheatham, thanks. Welcome back. Go ahead.
Sure. I would say this. I think Donald Trump is showing very clearly that he is solidifying his base. And I would say if we go another 3 months, if we go into the month of November with the Democratic, better known as the Democratic Party, continuing to pull its 20 candidates down and basically, I guess, do everything they can to tear each other up. If this continues into the month of November, you will hand deliver to the current president his reelection.
Donald Trump.
Democrats don't stop this pulling each other down. If they can't unify and get behind one candidate, you're giving Donald Trump his election. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
I agree.
He's pulling his people together. He's getting them angry about anything and everything that ain't white and supremacist. And all I'm saying, you Democrats, you're playing it to his hand. You're fighting each other. You're pulling out stuff. You're doing investigations of each other and then putting it out in the public. And you think at the end of the day you're going to be able to come together and beat this guy?
Circular firing squad.
I just say, God rest Ross Perot's soul, because Again, I thank God I'm an independent. Again, to me, the Democratic Party should be renamed the Socialist Party, because that's what a lot of the policies that they're looking at are socialist
that's what's
ideas.
making the Europeans live. We call it socialism, but in reality, it is our tax dollars have to
And a
pay
lot
for
of these
that.
countries are struggling with their GDP. They're struggling with their GDP. They're struggling with the
I didn't say Spain, sir. I said Norway, Sweden, Scandinavia. They're having none of those problems, Jason.
That is such a Republican talking.
You wish that dial. You don't want to miss nothing.
FM HD Baltimore, brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
Man, how can you afford gas for that big SUV?
I pay less for gas than everyone else. I got the free Get Upside Gas app and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas.
Hold on. You're getting up to 25 cents?
People ask you show of your gas receipt and to 25 cash back.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm downloading the free Get Upside Gas app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code EARN for a 20-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 45 cents a gallon on your next tank. Just download the free Get Upside app at the App Store or Google Play and use promo code.
The cars would stop. The threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Up Tax Relief took care of Eric's problem.
And now my debt is clean. I don't.
Sunday at 5. The market. You can discuss different issues that affect change. Tune in Sunday at 5 p.m. every second and fourth Sunday on WOLB 10 a.m.
It's done unto you as you believe.
Wow, welcome back. But he's going to keep fighting because he's arguing some points that a lot of you believe in. Leo Burrows, hold up, Leo.
As we said, I want the audience to know while we were off air, we talked about what Eisenhower had warned the country about.
Yes, in the late
the
50s.
military-industrial complex, which is alive and well.
Yes.
And the bankers, too. Didn't he warn about the bankers?
Donald Trump, let me say, Donald Trump has built and is building a coalition of Republicans, Democrats, and independents who agree with his white power scenario of the supremacy of the United States and its increased emphasis on the military-industrial complex and nuclear weapons. They talk about denuclearizing. And the United States is the largest. Israel.
The treaty, the interballistic that was Trump counseled it and stuff. Now so Russia did everything the hell they want. Your grandchildren go to war, vote for Trump. Theodore Welcome. Thank you.
Two, in reference to the rent to the poorest of us.
That's right.
So no hatred. You would. I don't care if you got great degrees or against you, and you claims that to get to this country, what they're threatening? They're threatening Israel, who's got about 100 nuclear weapons also over there. and Palestinian and I'm going to tell you something called number one Williams by David Hayes guns that are being put in place by Trump. And the sad part about it is, as you know, when it's before God, those white people have a reason. And God's going to say, did you perform the love commandment? Did you love your neighbor as yourself? And what your answer is depends on where you come in. But they got, and the next. The thing about it is this. If you want to find paper for equal and poor people, psychologists, Mr.
Theodore, now hold on, Theodore, check this out though. Before God, that would imply that they believe in God. No, she couldn't believe in God because if they did, they wouldn't continue doing this.
Let me say this. When you say this, you talk to some of these conservatives. If you notice their body line, they are so ashamed of us who are on the dark side. But I'm going to tell you every good, the bad, and the ugly that God means we got, white people got, our for 10 years, Irish people, Vietnamese people in prison because they was doing sin. So I'm not ashamed of the guys. I pray for those of us who are on the dark side. But I don't see no white people who ashamed of Jeffrey Dahmer, who ate people. John Wayne Gacy killed 33. They ain't ashamed of them people.
They're not ashamed of locking people in cages. Thank you, Theodore.
Dennis Hastert was the Speaker of the House, a child molester.
Yes, and he did not go to jail.
Gentlemen, we'll be real. Today on all of the networks, you have a revisitation of the draft.
Come on, you know you're right. Doc, I ain't forgetting you. You speak up if you need to say something. I hope you sit down there.
I'm still here.
All right. Chris, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
Quick comment, Patrick. Great show, because at least you're talking about specific issues, and
Thank you.
like that.
Thank you.
Great show, but I've got to just say, number one, you brought up the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a devout Catholic, my number one issue when it comes to restriction of a Supreme Court, and when I look at every pro-life judge on the Supreme Court,
who is
wanted more Catholic pro-life, they would say she's
you
economic.
You made your point, but do you feel right to tell anybody what they can do with their body?
The last caller's point. When I go before,
right.
Anybody who does well, let's say that in the last.
They have lived through that hell and become the little children that shoot and hit people in the head. Yes, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Politics. We talk about good back of it. Yes, I'm for personal prosperity and good quality Catholic.
The lesson too, sir. Address that not dictate what other people should do with their lives. Because when was the last time you heard the Catholics against speak about black babies being? They don't even about white people babies. When they send their money in, they tell them no abortions for white babies. Bodies, I don't think that's right. It says against the law. Patrick Henderson, you have a question or comment, sir? You're going in and out a bunch of what?
In my book, but not for why they use the
right.
And they give my thing with the Democrats is, what have you done for me?
Health care. I can start listing what they've done.
It's not no just as you want. I mean, they have for which dealing with either party.
Right. Well, I agree with you.
No, that's not a black.
Yeah, but
he was agreeing with you.
I understand it. That's what I'm saying with you. I agree with you, sir.
Thing is, my body to keep voting for people and by the Democrats since 1965. I don't see no difference. I mean, so it's sad
there's
that
a difference,
you're
sir.
telling us
But listen to me. Listen, Eric. Listen. There was a time that a black woman couldn't even wrap her head in a scarf in Baltimore and walk proudly up on the streets without being scorned and rocks thrown at her. Things have changed. You might not want to admit that things have changed.
We had redlining policy, housing policies
which
that were lifted during the civil rights.
Exactly. So yeah, you can't say that. You can call and make these broad statements, but that is just simply untrue, sir. There have been changes.
You just said we talking about I'm not talking about since the civil rights era. I'm talking about within the last 20, 30 years.
There have been.
We're not talking about
we
that,
know
man.
there has been some setbacks.
Remember what happened. People what remember happened recently. That's what we are talking about.
Yes.
So if you want somebody to vote for you, you have to show them what you have to offer them.
Agree.
Now, I'm seeing
and
a lot
then
of
do it after you show them.
The Hispanic community, a lot of other communities. I don't hear anything for the African American community.
You know why?
Yet they want our vote.
You know why? Because we don't speak up. We don't organize. We're all divided. We all think that I got mine, you get yours. That's the mentality. We got the elitists who want to vote for people who are against their interests because they got a little money. We're so separated and divided that this is the full
exercise.
Yes, as a unit.
As a unit.
As a collective. That's what. Thank you for your call. I appreciate every call. Sherry, welcome, sweetheart. How are you today?
Hello, Patrick and everybody.
Hello.
How you doing?
I wanna make a quick comment of something that I'm seeing, and I don't know if you're seeing it yourself. As far as gentrification, I'm noticing. I was riding up Emerson Avenue, Emerson Village area. I'm noticing white families moving in these communities.
Absolutely,
we
everywhere.
Better pay attention.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm seeing a lot of it. And if you go down Emerson, working on
Park Heights. Hey, jobs with yes, sir.
My person take it here.
Yeah.
So just,
Republican, so that nice guy. to. But your policy is just ridiculous. Put a lock up in cage.
And Patrick, the evangelicals believe in God. They just don't believe in your God. They don't respect Islam. They don't expect the Baptists.
They have a white God.
Nietzsche said that the 23% like black people who don't, he said, contribute to society are expendable. Took that literally, and he accused the and Luther King talked about this. He called it with the LDL.
Yes, sir.
And we dismiss it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we talk about educated people, when you get educated, when you start thinking for yourself, you don't get trained like a monkey. And you start thinking, and then what happens? People begin to hate you. They begin to despise you because you're telling the truth. People, when you start telling the truth, that's when things get dangerous.
Any of our callers believe in the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, the Kawaida doctrine that was espoused by Maulana Rankarenga? Would that be helpful to our coalescing and working together in terms of the institution of race pride and our heritage and culture?
Yes,
I just think we need to hear more about those 7 principles and how they should be aligned with our goals and objectives today.
Bubby, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment? How are you? Bubby?
Thank you so much. Great conversation.
Thank you.
Hey, Patrick.
Turn your radio down.
Let's see. Can you hear me? I would like for someone to be able to tell me who is the labor commissioner in Baltimore City. That's one question. And who is the inspector general for the Baltimore City government? Now, keep in mind, the housing authority has no inspector general. That's why they running around doing what they doing. But I know for a fact there have been over 20 complaints made to the inspector general of Baltimore City about housing authority, and nothing has been done, from fraud and corruption down to abuse of power. Now, we must be careful because for the simple fact of the matter, for years I've been trying to tell people how the housing authority control the development money. And now, as you see, Mayor Jack Young is the man. It seems like everything in his mother over East Baltimore is being developed. Why is that, Patrick? The Old Town Mall now is being developed. And I'm confused because the point being, if we talking about training opportunities, why don't we give some of our people first?
Well, you know what, Bubby? I'm going to ask you this, and I've never asked you this before, but I wonder, have you mounted an effort to have those people in those housing projects to campaign where they call the mayor's office, they call the representatives' offices, and bang them out verbally about the way they're being forced to live in these places that our tax dollars are paying for? Have you ever done something like that, Bubby? I think it's neat.
Hey, Patrick.
Hold up, let him answer. Thank you. Go ahead.
We have tried to organize public housing residents around the vote, but again, Patrick, if you think about Po Home, isn't it strange that nobody from the Po Home development called any show to make a complaint?
Right.
Housing is the greatest intimidator of those residents or anybody in the country.
But if they call their elected officials, though, Come quickly.
I want you to think. The people were without water, and no one called in to say anything.
Wow,
So
out of fear.
Like I'm trying to tell you, housing under the leadership of Janet Abrams. Yes, her name is Janet Abrams, and they have a legal counsel by the name of Jan Gosley, a director of HR by the name of Kimberly Graham. All three black women are the worst, I say human beings, are the worst human beings in modern day conception.
Thank you.
I've heard Bubby say before, with those tenant councils, just like anything else in the city, they're handpicked by those who are in charge. So since they're handpicked, do you think they're going to bite the hand that feeds them?
No, especially when they have no alternatives. I agree with you.
Right, and many of those housing residents are disenfranchised. We were riled up within public housing to vote. Was during President Obama. Many of us have not exercised our rights to vote.
What about Freddie Gray? Didn't that arouse votes? That didn't change things?
Unfortunately,
Wow.
that got a few riled up over in Sandtown, Winchester, and Doc can probably contest to this, but that didn't motivate them to exercise their right to vote.
No, he can't contest. He can attest. I'm sorry to correct you there, but let's note the difference. Doc, what do you say?
Well, let's put it this way: we have a great deal of work to do. I think the first and foremost objective is we got to find more things that bring us together, as opposed to our differences. We definitely have differences. I think we got to begin looking at what we can do with each other in support of each other. Because the system right now is against us. Wednesday
always has been.
We're having a rally on a press conference Wednesday at 11 o'clock, where we are challenging the federal government, the state of Maryland, and the city of Baltimore as to how they use an opportunity zone that discriminated against the Jewish community 60 years ago and discriminating against the African American community that took its place, that they're using the same map that they use to discriminate against Jews. They're using that same map against our community. And we're going to tell the community that the state, the federal government, and the city are discriminating. And we got to come together and call it like we see it. Bubby is calling this thing right. When are we going to go down to 417 East Fayette Street and demand to see this woman that many of us have never seen before? She doesn't come on any radio stations. She is a major player in the city of Baltimore, but nobody has known this woman or who this woman is that's running housing. We all got complaints, and Bubby's not wrong. There's no accident that the people from Poe Homes didn't call. They were threatened.
I'm with you, Doc.
Yeah.
I'm with you. We plan whatever we have to do, we'll do it together. I'm with you 100%.
Sir. Let's go to Diane. No, I think Haki is next. Haki, welcome. You have a question or comment, sir? Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to call in. Well, I wanted to say something. Brother Leo, you said Malanga Karanga. I would like to add that the US organization collectively put Kwanzaa together. So I always attempt to encourage everyone to mention the For Us organization along with Dr. Karanga.
Amen.
To do that.
No problem with that. No problem.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you. But you know what, Patrick. For years I would call. I'm sorry, not call, but I would listen to people give their views and opinions, and for years I had to think well, all our elected officials. If I'm an alien listening to callers on the radio, or I would think that our black elected officials just the most incompetent on the planet. And so and to say that there's not a black agenda, whatever that means. I mean, of course, it's going to be subjective of sorts in terms of who has a legitimate black agenda. But the reality is that one of the only organized bodies that we, for instance, have in the state of Maryland is the Maryland Legislative Black Caucus. And so for years I've, attempted to learn and observe and see what this black agenda looks like. And now
they're not even monolithic, though, in their thoughts, are they?
Yeah, no, agreed. And that's what I mean, of course, and, that's a lot of the gripes that, some people have right now, and I heard it just this past week. They had a breakfast, and some people came to me and said, people are not like organized, and that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let me see here.
Thank you very much.
All right, very good here. I'll go Diane, and this is our last caller, Saul. Sorry, Uncle Fred. You called a little late today. Diane, you have a question or comment? Come real quick,
yes,
CBB. You got 30 seconds.
Hello? We just need to work together. I live in public housing. I'm not one of those people that keep my mouth closed, okay? Mm-hmm. I do have Janice Abrams' number. I told her that y'all would like to have her on your show. She was at my development on June the 11th.
Give us the number.
Let me get the card.
She's getting the card out.
Maybe you might need to do it off air.
Why?
So that people don't bombard her.
Oh, we want them to bombard her.
Are you serious? Why would you say such a thing?
Well, we're trying to get her on here.
No, we'll get it. We might have to drag her out of her office.
Listen. No, she said she'd be willing to come, Leo.
God bless you. All right, give me the number.
I'd like to have a conversation with her first before.
Well, I tell you what. I'm gonna use that. Use that as a threat to her. To do it. Yeah, I said it. It's a threat. If she doesn't come on, then we're going to give her number out to everybody. So hold on, Diane. Hold on.
We might have to get the sheriff.
Hold on, Diane. Don't hang
up.
Sheriff.
He gave Lindsey Graham's number out to the world, remember?
Exactly. Oh, I know. And that's what I want. Listen, on August the 17th, at Harlem Park, the first human flag of red, black, and green will be done. We need 10,000 people there. We're working on trying to get Colin Kaepernick there. There are other people are going to be there. We want you all there. We want to fill that park. It'll hold 17,000 people. We want you all to come on that day. Start preparing, going to red, black, and green flag on GoFundMe. We need money to buy materials. We need money to do that. I'm going to tell you more about it, but we need your help. But put it on your calendar and get your red, black, and green stuff ready because you're going to need it on that day. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson Meet the People. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Keep the faith.
Bye, everybody.
Keep the faith. We'll see you all next Sunday at 3:30 on Spirit 1400. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson Meet the People. God bless. Have a great week.
Wishing you never had. Once you realize it wasn't worth it.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. That's why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you live in your own paying property taxes? Then take the credit. The nonprofit Maryland Consumer Rights Coalition wants you to know the Maryland Homeowners Property Tax Credit Program can help. Many homeowners get back more than $1,000 every year. Call taxcredit.com right now to see if you qualify. That's 443-961-6220 or MarylandTaxCredit.com to take the credit.
Man, how can you afford gas for that big SUV?
I pay less for gas than everyone else. I got the free Get Upside Gas app and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas.
Hold on. You're getting up to 25 cents off a gallon with the free Get Upside Gas app while I'm paying full price?
You know it. People earned over $1 million last year. You just got to take a picture of your gas receipt and bam, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm downloading the free Get Upside Gas app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code EARN for a 20-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 45 cents a gallon on your next tank. Just download the free Get Upside app at the App Store or Google Play and use promo code EARN. Save money on gas on every fill-up. Download the free Get Upside app and use promo code EARN. That's EARN.
Take a ride with the Success Scholar on the Old Town Road. That's right, the Success Scholar Haki Ami, best-selling author of Mission Unstoppable with Les Brown and Dr. George C. Frazier. The Success Scholar of the hit film Black Friday 2 and No More Chains 2 is here to invite you to get your copies of Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1804. That's right, all 5 copies with your special price. The film has transformed the consciousness of millions can now be owned by you, your family, and your community. Isn't it time you awaken from this matrix? Join the Success Scholar movement and be a part of a true movement like no other. Witness and learn about the real, untold history of black people around the world. Film features Dr. George Frazier, Kaba Kameni, Anthony Brada, and many more. Call 410-209-9687. Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1804. Call 410-209-9687. Go to www.successscholarhaki.com.
The new 1010 WOLB with talk in the